over.
What is it?
It's over.
What is that?
I don't know.
However, what this is,
The Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
and we'd like to welcome you. And I'm your brother John.
And this is
And
Kiana.
I'm the one and only Mr. Edman.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That?
See that?
I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to help us to redefine what's cool, because smart is
The new
Gangster.
baby.
If you don't know,
Now you know.
No.
Ooh, it feel good on this Wednesday,
What's on
hump
your
day.
It was a beautiful morning.
Back up off the wall.
It's a beautiful morning. Oh, and we just so that you know, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is an independently produced. Put it back on the wall. The Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is an independently produced program. The views, opinions, statements expressed by hosts, guests, or callers are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or policies of KRFS Radio 99 Gems, its ownership, management, affiliates, sponsors, or partners. It's us, y'all.
And he's back.
Yo.
You know, when you did that, you know what I just thought about?
What?
Weekend at Bernie's. And you Bernie.
Damn. That's where that come from?
Because Bernie, they had the glasses on.
Yeah.
And then he walk around and he like,
Yeah. No, I remember the weekend at Bernie's, yo.
How you had 3 weekends at Bernie?
and the man ain't even alive.
At Elm.
Who thought that was funny?
Well,
Walking
we
around with a dead body all day.
How did Bernie die? Y'all, I remember it being on, but I don't
R.I.P.
remember
Bernie, man.
what happened to Bernie, man.
I think Bernie was already dead.
Okay, and
I can make up a lie.
They spent the whole weekend at Bernie's. And,
I can totally make. They went to go visit and they came in there and Bernie was gone.
So for you
okay, so he was
millennials,
gone when he got there.
I think so.
for you millennials, Weekend at Bernie's is a movie
Uh-huh.
from the 1990s.
And they go on vacation. Bernie, a rich man, they partying. Everybody, they over there burning.
And Bernie, and don't nobody know Bernie ain't still kicking. But a couple of them.
Yeah.
So also this weekend is going to be big, man. Definitely want to give a shout out to Stephanie A. Wynn, the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation, the 4th annual Let's Talk About IBD and Health Wellness Symposium happening at 10 a.m. This event is focused on advancing health equity and patient education for individuals that are living with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis.
Okay.
Also known as IBD. And so you can go to Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation and register.
Hey, man, big shout out to Steph, because like I said, I ain't never know about none of this, right? And to come to find out, a lot of us is living with this particular disease or condition,
right?
And don't even know it.
True.
Just oh, my stomach don't like that. Oh, I got bubble guts or whatever the saying is. It is actually a condition that can be treated or it can be worse. So big shout out to Steph for bringing awareness to it.
And what she said, I think that struck with me too, is that she had problems with carrying her babies to full term and losing it. And then, mothers struggle with that sometimes, and not knowing what you have. And if somebody misdiagnosed you with it, and now you thinking that you can't carry to full term and something like that. So get checked. Come out and get the information, because it's great information.
Absolutely. And then also on Friday, we're doing a community block party in Child's Park. So y'all make sure that y'all pull up. Free food, refreshments, music, friends, family, games, and resources to the community. So it's one of them, if the mountain don't come to you, you go to the mountain. And so we're going to meet the people where they are. And all we asking you to do is just come outside.
Shout out to the mountain.
Yeah. Come outside.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
And then what street is on? It's on Fairfield? What is it on?
It's on Scranton and
y'all know what Scranton is.
Y'all know it's Scranton Street.
If you don't, ask Siri.
And 16th Avenue. Siri knows Scranton is too. Siri knows Scranton is. Yeah.
Super Dave.
Yes, Super Dave on the ones and twos. He actually lived there. So we finding community connectors. And so our vice president live on Scranton Street, Dave right there on Scranton, and we got some members that live over there. So
putting the neighbor back in the hood.
All the way.
That's what's special to me.
All the way.
Getting Super Dave involved, you know what I mean? A Child's Park resident and an asset and a resource to the community. Yep. So big shots out to Super Dave. If y'all listen to 99 Jams, he is the one that was just playing before.
Yeah, you know what? And I think what we should do is duplicate this around the city.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, that's always the goal.
Triple check.
No, I'm just saying, like, let's go ahead, like, because it's about putting the neighbor back in the hood, and right? And so, like, in every neighborhood, because again, the summer is coming up. Right. And we want to have a safe summer.
That's right.
And this is a good way because a lot of times you got new neighbors in there. People just don't know who's in there. This is a good way.
Lot of new neighbors.
Right. And it's a good way for you to get to know your neighbor's name.
Yeah.
Right. And then to know who's in there. And then, like, if there's kids in there, you know who to look out for and, you know, and who the parents is. And so, yeah. I think we should talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
And make this happen.
Make this happen. And then we also got one tentatively scheduled for the last day of school. We got another resident who said, I want to do one on my block. And I can feed some people and I can put out some stuff too. And so we got her in the queue. We just got to close this loop and then we can start planning the next.
You think they'll let me shut down 54th for a portion of 54?
You could do whatever you want to do.
I just want to say, if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want to do. And sometimes we ask for permission when we don't need it.
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah.
I don't listen and just sorry.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah.
Power doesn't ask for permission.
Yeah.
And sometimes as a community, we have to exercise our power and our will because I think with the block party, right? This is something big for neighborhoods, right? Because this is something that we do. You know what I'm saying? I was just at a block party earlier this year, and he was talking like, "Hey, man, we need to do this for the neighborhood." Yeah. Right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Hey, man, I mean, I ain't doing no party. I ain't do no party. I don't really do block party. So that's something you gonna have to do." That's how I dropped it to him. I only really came to the party because you invited me. And we hanging on the corner with a bunch of kids. I ain't feel right. But the reality is that was a connection from the 40-year-olds to the 20-year-olds to the 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because I was on the corner with 16-year-olds, 13-years.
I done had some good block parties. I done did some good house. I done did good block parties. We just did one for the 4th of July. Remember, we blocked off the family.
I know you be blocking off. We can operate it.
And Robin, they block off Scranton pretty regular too. So
it's not as hard as people think it is.
Especially once you do it.
Yeah.
Once you do it and you learn the process. That's another thing with the neighborhood strong.
Since what's on your mind? Go ahead.
You learn the process, and then it makes it easier for you to do. That's why if you notice the people who do block parties always do them, like the one right behind Bethel Heights, they always do one.
Yeah.
They block. It's certain neighborhoods they always do it because once you learn how, it becomes simple.
Yep.
What happens is the fear of not knowing make you think it's more complicated than what it is. And then you do not go and search for the information because you think it's impossible to do it or you don't have the resources or somebody's going to tell you no. But I'm here to tell y'all here in this great city, we are all citizens.
Okay.
Here.
We are.
In St. Petersburg, Florida. We all pay our taxes. Here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Right. And so, I'm just going to say, and so I'm just going to let you know that you have access to the resources here. And we don't have to be afraid to pick up the phone, send an email, and do it because, you know, they're ours too.
I want to ask the audience, when is the last memorable block party you attended?
Yeah.
Share one of your block parties.
I just said the last memorable one was the one we just did at the 4th of July. We came in, blocked in there. It was like, we didn't call it a family reunion. It was kicking with your kin.
Okay.
Right.
That's good. But when you said that though, I thought about it. Because what happened is when you say family reunion, then it's a whole, you start thinking about all of the planning, all the shirts and all, like
we did all that, but
yeah, I mean it get like another layer of like you know, in people's mind. Like we did that too. So we stopped doing them too. We just do like family get-togethers.
Or whatever, because you think it is, but we knew we wanted to do it like and it's just kind of being fun with it. So that was like the last good one that you know.
Yeah, so my last one I think might have been the luau. We did the luau and we blocked the street off. And yeah, it was good. It was a good time. We had a good time.
I just had one in I think like January, but I wasn't. That wasn't really the one. That was the one because that was the most recent one. But I think back in the days, off the Ave 16th used to do those block parties on 16th.
Yeah.
And it used to be like epic.
Yeah.
It was like a small Martin Luther King Day. And at nighttime in the hood on the block. It used to be love. You know what I'm saying? Until the helicopters came out.
Yeah. Until the military grade.
Until they started using those military grade weapons. And
94 crime bill.
And tanks on us. But before then, it was great. It was a lot of good memories. It used to always get kind of frisky at the end.
All right. So listen, y'all.
It's kind of frisky.
Oh,
frisky
Lord.
means different things to different people.
Sure enough, dude. So we're just going to say.
Yeah. But make sure that you're there Fridays from 6 to 9, 16th Avenue South and Scranton Street, the Child Spot, Scranton Street. And I got to say it that way, too. I'm from here. So, yeah, y'all pull up. I seen this thing that said it was New Jersey teens experiment with cutting back on screen time. So there were 3 teenagers in New Jersey. They decided to test what life would be like with much less screen time. As concerns grew about how phones and social media affect young people's mental health. For their experiment, the teens limited or eliminated their use of smartphones and social media for a period of time. Instead of spending hours on apps and messaging, they focused on in-person activities like talking with friends, spending time outdoors, and doing hobbies without their phones. At first, they said the transition was difficult. The teens said they felt bored, disconnected, and even anxious without their usual digital habits. But after a short time, they began noticing positive changes. They reported better sleep, improved focus, and more meaningful face-to-face conversations with friends. So the point of this is the experiment highlights the growing concern among parents, educators, and health experts about the impacts of constant screen use among young people. So
we're creating.
The conversation is, do you think the smartphones and social media are helping young people stay connected, or are they doing more harm than good?
I think it's doing more harm than good. We're creating introverts. And if you look at it, a lot of them, when they have to talk in public or interact with real people, you see the anxiety that comes with them, the anxiousness. And I mean, to be in this world, you really do need to know how to communicate with people.
They say most people have a fear of public speaking, though. So
not public speaking is different than when you walk in there and like me and you sitting right here and you're timid to say hello.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know how to have like a interaction.
I think I agree on communication skills is something that's learned. And it's just like anything else. With the more experience you get, the more comfortable you get with it. So, with the smartphones, they have studied ways to keep us addicted to these devices. And it works. I mean, the studies work, the product works. That's why I told I ain't been on. I took Facebook, Instagram. I took it off my main devices. So now I don't wake up and check Facebook because it's not on my phone. I don't wake up, so that I think it's important that the youth are learning ways to control it and ways to deal with it, because this is like the new generation of smoking cigarettes.
It is. Hey, caller, introduce yourself.
Hey, y'all, this is me, Damian Davis.
Hey,
Davis, how you doing?
Talking about smartphones.
I got an EBT phone, but I ain't got no problem with public speaking. Actually, I'll be doing some public speaking on Saturday, March 28th Y'all make sure. Hey, I want to come up there and give away some tickets, man, to this comedy show.
Okay,
I definitely got some tickets, man. Tell my boy I got a contribution so I can talk about this show Saturday, man. Shyann, can you make it happen for my sister?
All right, gotcha.
I like that. I like that. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Contributions are accepted. We do accept contributions.
I know y'all do. It's up there like granny panties. Keep doing what y'all doing, man.
Hey, I appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me a smartphone and bring it too.
I think somebody said the smartphones are dumbing the people down.
They really is. Yeah. No, they really is. Like, no, for real. Like, they really are dumbing the people down because, like, you don't have to go and do any research.
Okay.
You know, when you did before, no, you don't, because all you have to do is ask Siri, ask Chat GPT, ask something, and they're gonna go ahead and print out, give you almost exactly what you need. And this is how you study. And the teacher told me this before, is how they know if they Chat GPT.
I'm thinking like all of that stuff. Like I kind of like not having to go to.
But you need to know. But you need to know what you're writing. Oh, yeah, you need to know what you need to know what you're doing.
You think with it,
right? And so the fact,
like having access to it, I don't think it's bad. But
it's like, but if you don't retain it,
yeah,
it's nothing. And so like
retain like what you learn,
yeah, because they're not learning anything.
But that's why I said that's why I was when I said, oh, okay, school.
So when I talked to a teacher, and what they did is that a lot of what they do when the papers are given out,
when people do that,
wait, listen.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, Gavin.
Caller,
introduce yourself.
We asking, do you think smartphones and social media are helping young people stay connected, or are they doing more harm than good?
Two things. Professional, because somebody mentioned professional speaking. Professional speaking is much different than everyday communication. Mm-hmm. I'm a professional speaker, and I've had people accuse me of not turning my professional speaking voice off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's one thing.
Okay.
The second thing is for social media, the idea that things are implied or that people understand your social media short speak, and even the way they text message. Mm-hmm. They text message 2 to 4 characters, and you're just supposed to know. You don't speak that language.
Communication. That's a new form of communication.
Yeah.
Short
and I, they call me old. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I am. I'm 55. I'm the OG in the block. But I like to hang around with young people because they teach me these new languages and all this new stuff. And I also hang around with mature people that grumble about it.
I hear that. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you. Eva says. Eva said they're doing more harm than good. These children have no social skills or how to handle conflict resolutions. They post everything on social media instead of talking. And I don't want to just say it's the children.
No, it's not.
It's the children, but it's some grown folks that's got some issues
but I think that
with this as well.
I think it's always been. I think people communication always has been lacking. Because, like I said, some of this stuff is learned behavior.
Yeah,
great communication and thoroughly communicating is a practice that you learn and that you get better at the more you do it. And when you don't do it,
yeah. So it's 8:00. So we'll continue this after the top of the hour. Tag a friend, tell a friend. 7 minutes after the hour.
And we got Gabby Robinson from Black Voters Matter in here talking about no sight, no silence, call to action, getting some updates on the state and legislative affairs that's going on. And so, y'all make sure that y'all tap in, tag in. We'll be back 6 minutes after the hour.
Yeah.
is
the new
gangster,
baby.
You know what? Before you do the speech,
Okay.
right? To let them know that what we say is us, and don't say nothing.
Don't call nothing.
Don't call nothing, because
principal.
we're responsible.
Yeah.
And before you say all of that, it just warms my heart to see Mr. Edmond doing Mr. Edmond stuff. Okay. I just wanted to say that because he been sitting in this chair the whole time. As soon as we go live, he go sink down in the chair.
I see, he was settling in. Come on, when the house settled.
But we was on break for 7 minutes, right? Yeah. You settle in before you do that. But Mr. Edmond, high five, Mr. Edmond. Okay, good.
All right.
But go ahead, do our
speech. Here's the thing, excuse. You don't know why he did it though. He's a producer. And so he dropped that down so that camera angle can see Gabby.
Chill out, brother. Hold on, man.
See what I'm saying? Because when he was sitting up high, we couldn't see Gabby.
Hold on.
I know exactly what she was doing. I know exactly what she was doing. He looked at the camera.
Production secrets.
No, he said, I know exactly what he's doing.
I get it.
No.
I get
part of the magic. Like he didn't have to say it. So when he did it, I laughed, but then I thought about it. I was like, okay, I see what he's doing.
Yeah, but I had to do it because Mr. Edmond, we're family here. Mr. Edmond ain't being Mr. Edmond, and to see him do Mr. Edmond, it melts my heart.
And now that's perfect angle too, by the way. So
don't understand that. I get there's always a method to his madness. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's harder to find it, but but it's there. Yeah,
right.
There's some modus operandi for sure. But thank you.
All right, now do our speech.
Okay, yeah, because we got a guest that we need to make sure we do this speech, y'all.
Because ain't no calling the principal on us.
Principal on us on this.
Okay.
So, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is an independently produced program. The views, opinions, and statements expressed by hosts, guests, or callers are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or policies of Carafesta Radio, 99 Gems, its ownership, its management, affiliates, sponsors, or partners. Welcome to the ride, Gabriel Robinson of the Black Voters Matter.
Thank you for having me.
Now before we get in, because we're going to get in with you, I got to say, St. Pete.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because y'all did y'all big one.
Okay.
Y'all done went and shared Cheyenne.
Yes.
Crazy. It really did. And she had 2 viral videos that hit this weekend because she was at Culture Creative, and then I dropped the video of her singing little X Factor from Lauryn Hill, right? And then Culture Creative. That was on Saturday, and then so Love the Love. And then on Sunday, she was at JQ's and Kiki Wyatt was here. And then she came and did a little razzle dazzle.
And she did a little more than a little razzle dazzle. She did that. Yeah.
And so thank you for all the love and the support. She does have a show that's coming up here before she leaves to go on tour.
Okay.
May 1st. Y'all gonna see the information. So keep the love alive and buy these tickets when they drop, right?
Because all of that, I would have paid to see her. You have an opportunity to pay to see her.
And if y'all don't know, Shyann Roberts from June's Diary is a local phenom, songstress.
And the crazy part is I'm in there because Brain kind of made me on Saturday. He was like, I don't think y'all know Kiana, like, you got to give her resume. And I'm like,
listen, for real, she has a stellar resume. She's an industry professional.
Actually,
they platinum or gold. Or
they did did their thing, and then they were actually at one point considered for a Grammy for June's Diary, and she done really painted the industry and did what she did. And then what happened is at JQ's, and this is the professionalism of her, is the sound wasn't sounding right. And Cheyenne was like, she said she made the executive decision to get up there. She was like, St. Pete, we can't go out like that. So she went and helped them and was like, we got to get this. Like, let's fix this up, because she would hate for somebody to.
No, what's funny is she's sensitive to that, because we were at another event. She was like, I need to come back and do a class on how to hold the microphone. like
that's what's up.
She's just mindful of.
And she's been like that since she was a baby.
She was like,
we might need to hold that flag.
Yeah. She
we
was
like a lot of artists. We have an underground scene.
Yeah.
With One Love magazine, I used to write and do all these underground artist stuff. But there is a space for us to educate our young writers, songwriters, and
we got to talk about that because they really don't groom them no more. And I'm really particular about like stage performance. Yeah. But and we're gonna end this right there. When she was younger, I remember she was like maybe like 5 or 6, and somebody like hit the stage. And when she came in, she was like, "You hit that note wrong." And I was like, "Shyann, you can't do it," But she's been always like that. But I just want to say thank y'all. And we appreciate the love. Absolutely. And so it's not unnoticed.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you. All right, Gabby, what's going on? So before we get started, for those who may not know you, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Gabrielle Robinson. I am the Central Florida lead regional organizer with Black Votters Matter. I'm based here in St. Pete, but I cover every county in Central Florida. And that's what I do. I go around. And some people say I wreak havoc. Okay. I say I handle business.
I hear that. It depends on what side you're on. It's like that whole Boston Tea Party thing. Exactly. In some spaces, they revolutionaries, and in other places, they terrorists.
Exactly. Yeah. And our motto for this year is "We Got Us." Our motto for this year is "We Got Us," and that's always what I'm on. Because at the end of the day, as they say, there's no justice, there's just us. And we have to
say that one more time.
There's no justice, there's just us.
Can I ask you this?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us more about Black Votters Matter as an entity?
Okay. Okay, so we do a lot. We do not register people to vote, but we do voter education. We do warrant clinics. We have environmental justice, Black maternal health, environmental justice, we have a collard green caucus, mutual aid. We've granted over $50 million to Black-led nonprofits. We only give to us. We don't take any money from the government, so they can't shut us down.
They can't tell you what you can do and can't do with your dollar.
Who we can give money to and who we can't. And we're in about 27 states now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. That's what's up.
And I knew that.
Yeah. You knew that, yeah.
We want people to know. We got to let the people know.
Right question.
Yeah. And so I know we got a lot of ground to cover. So we want to start. We're going to kind of do this in the local,
right?
Then the state, and then the national. Right. What's happening on the scene, and so what we got cooking locally here.
All right. So locally, for those of you who may not know, we've had for the past year, a No Sight, No Silence campaign asking the supervisor of elections, Julie Marcus, to have a South St. Petersburg does not have an early voting site and has not had one in decades. As a matter of fact, one of my friends the other day sent me an article from 2016 where Charlie Crist, who was running for office at that time, asked the then supervisor of elections for an early voting site in South St. Pete. But it's been over 20 years. There is no early voting site in South St. Petersburg. The closest one is in Gulfport, but that's not St. Pete.
Yeah. And they want to say it's not that far, but no, that's the difference. Like,
not that. We need one in South St. Pete. I live in South St. Petersburg. St. Peter's, Pinellas County has the largest disparity between Black and white voters. We also have the most crowded early voting sites. Yeah. We're like tied for that, and there's no reason for that, because if we had more, if we had one in South St. Pete, we weren't even asking her for 5 or 6. We just were like one
site, yeah.
And in this past year, she has not responded to anything at all. She has refused to meet with us. Her communications person, I don't even want to say his name because his name wasn't on the ballot. He's not an elected official. Okay. Our money doesn't pay his taxes. But anyway, he said you know, he's met with us and he's like, no, it can't happen. It can't happen. And we're like, you're not the supervisor.
Right.
We need to hear this from her.
So she's sending somebody who can't even authorize to make the decision to talk to y'all about it.
I guess he's speaking on her behalf, but she wasn't. We elected people who voted, elected her. Every other, again, like I said, I go to all the counties in Central Florida. I've met with many different SOEs, supervisors of elections. They all meet with us because, again, what's her
name? Julie what?
Julie Marcus.
And so if anybody know Julie Marcus that's on here, tag her in because we trying to get her, right? And we want her to know that, you know, it's a meeting that needs to be had. And I think you know it. And so now we ain't going to let you hide behind the closed doors.
Can I say this? I want to ask this because you said it's the largest disparity, right? And
20%.
And 20%. And so in our local election, we do have like an active voting community.
You do.
And so how does that translate? Is there a need greater than is being supplied or like...
Again, like I said, because our early voting, for example, for this upcoming, you know, this is a huge election that we have coming up this year.
It is.
All right. For the upcoming elections, there are only 3 early voting sites in August. And all of those are at the SOE, the Supervisor of Elections office. Then for the November elections, I think there's 7. That's it. For governor, for all of these things that we're having. But again, none are in South St. Petersburg.
Right.
None.
And I think that's a disservice.
And they're saying there's a lot in North County. If I can.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing too. So what's happening today? So we had our town hall and then we did what's called a sign-on letter. Okay. Where we outline everything. This is going to Supervisor of Elections Julie Marcus today, where we outline everything that we've been doing, and then we get people to sign on to that. And we have right now 50 organizations, including the ACLU, right? The NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Southern Poverty Law Center. We have neighborhood associations, and can I say which one?
Yeah.
Childs Park Neighborhood Association is one of them.
The Views Express.
That's what I'm saying. You know, we have NAACP Urban League, like the statewide NAACP, the Kappas, the Omega. Like so many people just came on and were like, look, the co-founder of Black Votters Matter, Cliff. He signed on, Cliff Albright, because this is something she can't run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like this is the problem that I'm having with so many politicians is that they're supposed to be public servants.
Right.
But they get in office and they act like, okay, we're here in office now. Y'all just peons. You elected us, but we're not doing what we're supposed. We're not really working for the people.
We're working for the corporations.
Exactly.
A lot of times, and this is a serious issue where once people get elected, they feel that they have a mandate and they got a what they call carte blanche.
Right.
See, the people elected me.
Right.
See, so I'm gonna make this decision.
I experienced that in real
because
time.
The people elected me, and the problem is the voices of the people get smothered by the same person we elected in.
But here's another problem. The voices of the people don't understand that their voices are louder than they think they are. Just like you elected them, if you raise your voice and say, listen, we elected you to do this, you're not doing it, partner, we got something to say. Go to these meetings, call, say, look, do we need to ask for a recall? Do we need to whatever? You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing, and that's where we mess up as a people because we don't understand our power. One of my favorite quotes is the power of the people is more powerful than the people in power.
Amen.
And we have to understand that.
And if you're just tuning in, we have Gabrielle Robinson of Black Votters Matter. She's talking about some of the local issues. We're going to get into state and national as well. And right now we're talking about this early voting site advocacy in South St. Pete.
And we need one.
And the response of our current supervisor of elections, Julie, say her name.
Julie Marcus.
Julie Marcus.
Is ignoring.
Yeah.
Ignoring.
And so with the early voting site, and the context of this too, just another part of this is like the requirements for IDs. Like there's a lot of changes that's being proposed to, like, would you mind walking us through some
okay, so this is going to be where I get into the state. So right now, the Florida State House has passed House Bill 991, which is the Florida Save Act, their rendition of that.
991?
Yeah, not HB 991.
Okay.
And so nothing can be done legally until DeSantis signs it into law.
Okay.
And then that's when, like, we've already been having meetings with the Southern Poverty Law Center because we're gearing up. And that's another thing we're going to have to start doing. When these unlawful things are passed, we're going to have to start tying it up in court and saying no. And
we were just talking about this.
Yeah. And actually, the Southern Poverty Law Center has met with me and some of our partners, you know, to see who wants to join in. So if there's anybody out there who's like, look, my rights are being trampled on. And let me say this about the SAVE Act too, that I don't think people are really focused on. They're focused on the ID part, but not the fact that students will no longer be able to use their student ID.
Right.
At all. And that's a big thing.
Okay.
That's a big thing. So he hasn't signed it into law yet. And again, like once he does, there's a process that you have to go through in order before, and it doesn't go into effect until 2027.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that for the elections this year. But we do have to gear up and say, we're not going to take this because this is utterly ridiculous.
So what are some of the things that it's looking to do, like with this SAVE Act? I know they changing what's acceptable for IDs. What are some of the other things
and so for a lot of married women who got married, their name on their birth certificate isn't the same as their driver's license because they weren't married when they were born.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tie this also into ICE.
Okay.
All right. In Project 2025, everything that's happening in the airports and everything like that, this is all in Project 2025. ICE in these airports is a dry run for ICE being at the polls.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So here's what's happening with TSA and why they're there. Project 2025 explicitly calls for TSA to be privatized, but it can't happen until the unionized TSA agents are eliminated. So here's how they do it. They defund DHS. Agents without pay will quit, which is happening. I think 500 have already quit. Airport security breaks down. Massive delays. We're already seeing that. Send ICE to help. They already did that. Push the narrative that this crisis requires privatization framed as no cost to taxpayers. Private contractors come in. TSA unions are eliminated and ICE becomes a permanent presence in American airports.
Now pause right there.
Yes.
So tag all of my Republican friends, right? Who's making it seem like this was a Democrat party issue, right? And saying the Democrats is holding this up. How could they hold it up when they wrote this in their prior?
Yeah.
No. Like, because they're trying to say, oh, they're not playing fair. They're doing this. They won't allow these people get their job. No, they knew exactly what they were doing. This was pre-planned. This is premeditated murder.
Right. On pages 150 through 159.
But maybe not murder, but it's premeditated.
Project 2025, if you want to read it for yourself.
But then here's the other part of it.
But it's premeditated.
But as I'm hearing that, what came up for me when we talked about the Democrats or Republicans is that we gotta have us.
Yes,
because we know that it's two two wings on the same.
I agree with that.
And so just like Gabby able to read that plan, them Democrats was able to read the plan too and knew that this was going to happen and could have put some. So it's like we can't just. I don't think trying to party hop and put responsibility on which party and who's going to say it's like it's really up to us to save us at this point.
No, but go ahead, let Gabby.
That's the views expressed.
But the thing is, this came out before the 2024 elections, and nobody knew it would. If he had lost, then It wouldn't have even been.
No, the plan still
not like this, not to this effect. However,
overtly, but they still subtly be working these
however, let me say this. It's not like the situation we're in right now, and I have to say, even though it's bonkers, it kind of ticks me off a little bit because the person in office said before the election, I'm going to be a dictator on day one.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah.
And then he said, you know, in project, he was going to get rid of people, put people in who were loyal. Like all these things were said. I don't know if people didn't believe him.
Yeah, they didn't believe him because they're not used to politicians actually saying what they're going to do.
But he's not a politician though. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he's a businessman.
Like they used to people getting up there just making wild promises and saying I'm going to do this and then not doing it. And so when they see him doing that, they didn't think he was going to.
Well, you know what? I would say,
he was going to do it for real.
But I will tell you what you're seeing, and you know what my fallback is too. Usually, people respect like the levels and the system, the way that the system is. And this is my plan to do it. But if the system, if they shoot you, no. And the people, and that means the people said no, then you go with it, even though he said that he was going to do this. Trump don't care at this point. He don't respect it. So like when you saying that, like you're looking at a whole different type of beast in here.
But the thing was 2016 was about what we're seeing now in the court. When he won then, he got rid of, again, because he said, I'm going to get rid of the people who ain't going, and then he appointed people who were going to do, we wouldn't have a lot of this stuff, all these things being overturned if the people on the court weren't in his pot, you know, who didn't agree with him. And I understand.
No, Gabby, and I'm saying this because this goes back to like when we start talking about Black Power. So you talk about Marcus Garvey and what he was saying and some of this. He was saying that we needed to do exactly what they just did. Like, how they put their people in place. Marcus Garvey was advocating for us to put our people in place.
Right.
And so what they did was they looked at the Black Power blueprint and said, hey, this can work. And they started investing in politicians. They started creating their own agendas, which is what like everything that the Black Power revolutionaries told us to do that we didn't do.
I was just going to say, but we didn't do it. We didn't do it.
And now we're looking at them like, wow.
No, but do you know why we didn't know? Can I say this?
Wow, they got this.
No, I understand. I understand that. And it's not like a wow for me. It's like, didn't y'all see this happen? Like,
well, what happened?
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens we have this great idea and then they convince us that we're crazy.
Yeah.
Right? You come in and we see it, and you can flip it with our neighborhoods. They convince us that like our neighborhoods ain't worth nothing, right? And then somebody else comes in and spend millions of dollars in it, and then they take us away. So again, they make us feel like we buy in that we're delusional, right? And you can see on every aspect. They tell you that your big butts is too big and it's not attractive, but now everybody got a big butt and they made us try to feel self-conscious about our big butts, our big lips, our big ideas. You know what I mean? And you see it in every aspect of our life. And then they sit up here and they say, oh no. And then behind the scenes, they're doing everything that we said we were supposed to do.
You can't have judges on the court that only vote your way. You have to have diversity of thought, and you can't have one agenda that actually just serves your people. You got to have an agenda for everybody. But meantime, they got an agenda that's just for them.
Right. But see that again, that's been that programming that we've had for centuries. Yeah. For centuries that. Too many of us, unfortunately, but it's kind of like there's an expression that says what you tell a child becomes their inner voice.
Yeah.
And so for us as Black people, what we've been told for centuries, you can't do this, you don't belong with this, that's become our inner being, not just our voice. You know what I'm saying?
Because of the comments.
Our inner being, until it's going to take hopefully not centuries to deprogram that, because even when we think about people like the Panthers or Garvey, even when they were saying, hey, y'all know we can do this, there was pushback within our own community.
So we have a question from YouTube.
2 questions.
Go ahead.
Let's do the first one first.
Okay, go ahead.
Because that was so funny to me. So can we not talk racism?
Who said that?
YouTube Georgia at Georgia.
Can we not talk?
Can we not talk racism?
Can I say this? The issue with
they're saying don't talk about racism when we stop having to live it. Okay, because this nation was founded on it. So when we stop as Black people having to live in a racist society, then we can stop talking about it. But until that day, I'm going to talk about it. Again, the views expressed. All right.
That's right.
But because I live it every day.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't want me to talk about
Honestly, we wouldn't have to talk about it if it didn't exist. So if you're not a part of that community, tell them to stop doing racist ish, and then we don't have to talk about it.
We didn't even bring up the word racism. Not one time, and that's a guilty conscience. We've never said racism.
I got you. So here's the thing. I saw this one time. They said racism is so much ingrained in the system that anytime you start talking about the system, they automatically think that you're talking about racism.
Yes.
So we're talking about laws that are being passed that will limit voting rights for a certain demographic in this community.
Right.
As soon as you start talking about that, you equate that with racism.
And so that lets you know that it's racist because.
Wow. Next question.
Go ahead.
How about American Voters Matter? Why does color have to be involved?
You tell me. We didn't create the word Black. That didn't happen until 1790. And then, we're not the ones who started putting ourselves in categories. We're not the ones who did that. Yeah. So why don't you ask, Becky?
No, that man raised his hand.
Yes. I think one of the keys is for us to understand that racism is embedded into the laws of this
everything,
country, the policies and practices. And when someone says, don't talk about racism, or let's just talk about American voters. Well, Black people are Americans and we're American voters. So we can talk about Black people votes. You can talk about Jewish votes. You can talk about conservative votes. You can talk about Christian votes. But when we talk about Black votes, it becomes a problem. But the true problem is y'all got to get over yourselves. Y'all got to take a step back and then allow the community to communicate and voice their opinions, because so many times we've been cut out.
Why is it when we talk to ourselves, other people feel the need to just butt in and say, "Why I want to be included"? Do you want to be included in our racism? Do you want to be included in that?
What was the doctor's name who did that? The blue-eyed experiment.
Yeah, brown eyes, blue eyes.
Yeah,
I missed that.
You got to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to the
okay,
to the
good.
Work. Let's get to this work.
Because YouTube is on fire today.
We're gonna come back to some of those comments as well. But thank you so much.
We're gonna talk to you too.
Yeah. We definitely want to engage the audience. If you just
and let me say. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, if you just tuning in, we have Gabby Robinson from Black Voters Matter, and we're talking about some local, state, and national issues that impact our voting rights and some of the legislation that we need to be paying attention to as it's moving through this session. So we talked about the early voting site in St. Pete, what the changes that are being made to the mail-in ballots, some state level changes as well with what's that, House Bill 991 that you can check out, and then something's going on with the Voting Rights Act too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in October, Black Voters Matter took 8 buses from 7 states up to Washington, D.C. Mr. Edmond was one of the people on our Florida bus to hear the case of Louisiana versus Calais, which is the case that could overturn Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. That's a key protection against racially biased political maps.
So wait, they had to pass an act to address racial bias.
Yes.
So that means we didn't just originate this.
Exactly.
Like they thought that it needed to be addressed. So they passed a law. This was in 1965. It's a federal law that protects people's right to vote, especially Black Americans and other minorities, by banning discriminatory practices. It was signed into law by Lyndon Johnson during the Civil Rights Movement. Correct. Before 1965, many states, especially in the South, used tactics to keep Black people from voting, such as literacy tests designed to fail people, poll taxes, intimidation and violence, arbitrary rules that were applied unfairly. These practices were widespread despite the 15th Amendment of the Constitution, which already said that you could not deny voting based on race. That's why we got to do this stuff. Now,
and that kind of answers your question and what laws was put in there.
What laws were passed to limit Black. So you
tell me what laws were passed to limit white folks. So because we can do this all day about Black folks.
Well, here's the thing. You had when we talk about that, look, there's a lot in that. But here's the thing with this Voting Rights Act. You have the written law, and then you have the unwritten law,
right?
And so
you have the practices.
So you had a written law that said you can't discriminate against people,
right?
So they came up with like, okay, well, we'll do literacy tests where you have to prove that you can read. We actually have copies of some of those tests.
Yeah,
and when you look at these tests, like it's like those carnival games,
right?
Where you got to guess how many M&Ms is in the thing, and
it's a bottle,
or how many bubbles, or how many bubbles in soap.
These were what they call literacy tests, right? And then like nobody could pass them, and they were only distributed in this.
It's kind of like when you
people.
To kind of paint it too. Look at it. You know how like if you go into Walmart and you feel like 5 people walk past and didn't get checked. With the thing, and then and then they get on you. Why me and not the other 5? And then they say that is a lottery pick. It's randomly done, but it's randomly done to the Black people.
I used to always get randomly searched at no mistake that I'm Muhammad, and this was like the old, like 01, 02, and I always was the one who got randomly.
And so what we're not gonna do here, and we respect everybody, is to act like people don't practice unfair things when they're at the work and they know what to do, and then you lean on the system to justify what you're saying. Like, no, we are supposed to randomly pick, but then when you look at who you randomly pick, you're not randomly picking. You're not letting the system do it. You're just picking the people that you feel.
And it makes us it makes us less safer.
Yes.
So when we are racially profiled just for being Black, it lets the white guy bomb the church.
Right.
It lets them go into the school because you watching me. I got dreadlocks. You trying to profile me, and then the guy that you didn't even look at.
He's a real.
And if you look at it, we ain't bombing churches.
And statistically, I ain't just talking about coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah,
I'm talking about if we're standing in line and there's a statistic match for something violent. 9 times out of 10 is going to be the white guy.
Right.
And so the other piece of this
on every aspect.
So with this Voting Rights Act, I want to just again remind the audience that what it did is it banned discriminatory practices. So it outlawed literacy tests. It made it illegal to deny voting rights based on race. It also created federal oversight. So certain states that had a history of discrimination, they had to get federal approval before they changed their voting rights laws. This was being handled by the Justice Department. Also, there was protections for minority voters. It required language assistance for voters who don't speak English well, protections against voter intimidation. And then there was updates to the law in the 70s and early 2000s that added protections for Latinos, Native Americans, and Asian voters. And it also strengthened enforcement.
I have a question. At any point, did it strengthen anything for white voters?
Yes, white women did get a huge.
Hold on.
Not express
for white men.
No,
and they're not specifically mentioned.
No,
it doesn't say white voters.
Yeah.
Okay, but we know that affirmative action was beneficial to white women because a lot of people, just like with DEI, didn't understand what that meant and didn't understand that white women were a part of those groups. Just like with DEI, white women benefited the most, and DEI is veterans. Okay.
Yeah.
But when they hear these things, they just think black. And let me say this, the last line of the Pledge of Allegiance says with liberty and justice for all, correct? If we had liberty and justice for all, would we have needed all of these amendments? Would we have needed all of these provisions? Would we have needed if we had it for all to begin with?
Probably Can I say one more thing? White women.
Yeah. If you're listening,
your white men didn't want y'all to have no power either, because they knew that y'all benefited more than us, so they made it a black issue to say that this is their problem. No, they had a problem with y'all, because now y'all not listening. Y'all are not, beneath them, but they covered it up to make it a black thing. But it's y'all too. I just want to let you know
I think it was 1974. It wasn't until 1974 that a wife could get a bank account without her husband, right? It was something like that. So it was all them white women out there burning their bras or whatever. However, let's not let them off the hook, because 54% of them voted for the person in the office right
We're
now.
Not, but
but I understand it's them as well. And so it's always really interesting to me when people want to say, who have not had our experiences, who want to deny the things that are so blatant that we see and experience every day.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of these national things. So we talked about the Voting Rights Act, and what are the changes that are being proposed to it? I know you mentioned Section 2 as a part of it.
Okay.
But I wanted to ground people in the act itself. So when we talk about what they're doing to change it, you'll have some context.
That's a key protection against racially biased political maps. So if you've ever heard the word maps. Right. Okay. If you've ever heard the word gerrymandering, so what I'm going to talk about is like packing and cracking. So with cracking, this is all a part of gerrymandering. You divide a certain group across the district, which means their voting strength is diluted because you're breaking them up. Yeah. And with packing, what you do is you concentrate one group into a single district, and then the opposing party wins all the surrounding districts. And so the group's power is only limited to that one single area.
So let me break it down for the people in the back, right? So again, this question about what laws have been passed to limit black voters, right? So we know that we are still segregated, and we live in neighborhoods that are predominantly one race or the other.
Right.
So what they've done is the laws that they passed is related to these maps where they know where we live, and they'll either have a high concentration of us that makes us ineffective, right? Or they'll split it up when they see that we're actually voting and we're turning out. So if we're voting in a block like most people do, they'll split the block.
Exactly.
And they split those blocks with highways, they split those blocks with maps. Like they've been consistently splitting up these blocks of power as an example of how they have changed laws that would limit the black vote. And that's one of the protections in this act. And stop them from doing that.
Right. And that's what the governor is doing. There's a special session April 20th through 24th in Tallahassee to it's called mid-cycle redistricting, where they want to break up. Normally that's every 10 years, but they want to do it now to break up these districts because we have this election and they want to go ahead.
I just want to say, and you got to look, it's an election year and a lot of seats have been flipping from one party to another party. And a way to control that, and this is in 2050 plan. It's to control
2025.
It's to control the electorate,
right?
And get they people elected, whether they win the election or not.
Right. And that's
elections have been low turnout. When I say low turnout, I'm sorry. They have been close. People have been winning by 1, 2, 3, and 4 votes.
Right.
The last 12 to 15 years. Right. This hasn't just started. We got elected officials that's in office right now. Their first election, they won by 1 vote, 4 votes. And that shows how important our voices are. It shows how important our vote is. Don't take your eyes off the prize. Even with the gerrymandering, even with everything they're doing, it's still coming down to 1.
And this is what they do know also is that they study data. Right. They study and they know that we were going to flip anyway. history tells you this, regardless. And so they knew that this was coming. And how do you try to prevent it? Is now you try to change it so then that history don't repeat itself. So go ahead.
One more thing too. Right now, I believe there are 42 people running for governor.
Wow.
Democrats, Republicans, no party affiliation, and independent. It might be even more.
I'm running for governor.
All these people don't want to be governor, but what tends to happen, and this is what we have to do, you can pull up the list of people running for governor and then start doing your homework. Now, you don't always have to vote D or R, Look at everybody. There could be somebody who's an MPA. Maybe they won't win. It doesn't matter. Your vote is your voice. And if you're like, you know what, this is the person who is saying what I believe, who best fits what I believe.
Okay, so I'm looking at the comments, right? First of all, this is how I know you really don't listen to us, because we're not blaming anybody. We're just calling out a problem, right?
Yeah.
And then what we do.
Let me read
go ahead.
First, the comment says these people just looking for someone to blame for their problems.
And no. Okay, so right, these people. So when you look at that, no, we're calling out the problem. And then what we are is solution based. And what you do not know is that everybody here are super voters. And what we do here is we change the community. We don't just talk about nothing. And if you didn't know, everybody here is super successful. So we are the people that actually go out, show people how to get it done, regardless of how the system is. So before you make comments like that, know who you're talking to.
Thank you very much. And the other part of that I'll just add is there's a difference, and sometimes the line gets blurred between responsibility and blame.
Yes.
Right.
And so when we're just assigning responsibility for some of these things to where it rightfully belongs, people interpret that as blame. It's not blame. It's just saying that you are in a position to have an impact over some of these laws, and you haven't made your presence felt in a way that would benefit all of the people.
Right.
And you've done it to limit and try and consolidate power to a small group of people.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we just naming what's in front of us.
You know what people don't like? They don't like Black people to be educated.
They show enough don't.
They don't want us to know things. Like, keep that. Don't tell them things. Don't tell them. But we are. Let me tell you something about us.
Come on, talk.
And this is what drives a lot of people who aren't us a little crazy. How are we still around? How are we still surviving? How are we still thriving when they know everything that has been thrown at us since the first ships came over?
Let me bring it back, though. Here's the thing, too, Gabby. We have to realize that we were in school with these same people. And so they wasn't just miseducating us. They
miseducating them. Yeah.
And so when we see a lot of these white people that have these views, you got to remember that was somebody that was in your class too.
But also,
the lie they told us is the lie they told them.
Yeah, but
also a whole other class of people that's got the gag going on all of us. And so they even have these poor white people who probably just one argument away from being on somebody's couch just like we is. They think that they're better than us just because they're white. And they were sitting next to us in class.
But also,
and actually, they're probably on somebody's couch.
As someone who was an educator for 23 years, Mr. or Miss YouTube, a lot of some of these people have questioned things, but they had a grandma who threw rocks at Ruby Bridges. You know what I'm saying? Right. They had, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so when they came back with questions, it was like, you can't be believing what they said, because an educated populace. I remember I was teaching my class. I was teaching at USF, and we were talking about something, and I brought up the fact that Rosa Parks said the reason why she didn't get up from her seat was because she was thinking about Emmett Till.
Yeah. Wow.
And my class, USF is predominantly white. They were like, "Who is Emmett Till?"
Wow.
And then I said, "Oh, y'all don't." Yeah, I told you, y'all don't. And so I told them that story, and I told them about the
fact that they didn't know who Emmett Till was.
Well. That's our education, so that's a whole different. Yeah.
But that's so when we talk about they don't want Black people to be educated, they don't want a lot of people to be educated.
Because what ended up happening was when I told them what Mamie Till did about the cast having the open cat, they like, can we see the picture?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Then they looked at. The more they started researching, I told them about these people, the Greensboro 4. I was like, they were 18 years old. The more I told them, the madder they got.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people who are not black people don't want anybody to be educated, especially theirs, because they know an educated populace, their people would never tolerate this.
Yeah.
The younger people, they wouldn't tolerate it.
Hey, and I'm glad you said that. And I'm going to tell you, this is the truth, right? The education system was built to have us be employees and to work for the high and upper class. Mm-hmm. And inside of that, they split off another division of classes of work, right? Mm-hmm. First, we train you to be a worker, and then we make you fight for your job, and then we make you feel like someone's finna steal your job. And so now we're creating an ecosystem of competition and hate.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to take that back to voting, because who's on your school board, the people that you're putting in certain positions are the ones who are determining what your curriculum is. What you know what I'm saying? So if you don't know that, if you're just going out and checking a name off a box and you don't even know, this past election, I think every Moms for Liberty person who ran was defeated, but that's because a lot of people had studied and they knew what Moms for Liberty was behind all these book bans, behind all these other things. But if you don't know that, and I think sometimes people, and I'm talking about everybody, may vote based on name recognition. You know, but they don't really research. Yeah, and so all of these things come back to who we have in these local positions, because they really affect our lives more than federally.
It does, and that's what got me to vote too. And I always say,
7 minutes.
Oh, it is, and you got it.
I just want to let y'all know, because I know we can keep.
We going in.
But we want to let y'all know that we do have Gabby Robinson from Black Votters Matter. Is there a call to action that we got? This is something we're asking people to do, or we would just
we asked people to call the supervisor of elections office. There is also a voter outreach manager who has never outreached to us. But call the supervisor of election, Julie Marcus. Call her office and, demand this. And I'll say this, when we were writing, it's so funny. When we were writing up the sign-on letter, right? And I was reviewing things and I was taking out words like, we respectfully ask you. I was like, no, ain't no respectfully asking anything. This is our right. This is something that we need. So we want an early voting site. We need blah, 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 blah. And a lot of the times, even the way I was going about it at first, I was hearing from women of the Caucasian persuasion, they use the word aggressive. And I was like, why the black woman gotta be aggressive? I said, I am asking for something. There are labels that they give an angry black woman, aggressive, assertive, but James Baldwin said, if you are black in this country and a little bit conscious, you should be in a state of outrage every day. And I say this again, anger is a stage of grief. It's one of the stages of grief. And as what's happening in this country right now should be grieving everyone. So we are in this state. We are grieving. We are grieving. And so this is a natural progress. This is a natural stage that we're in.
Especially
and so
the people on YouTube, they're grieving bad.
I mean, but they going back and forth. Like, I'm looking at YouTube. Some of them on, like, they're back and forth. But
sounds good.
Yeah, it is.
Go like the page, follow the page, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, do it now.
But what they will do is give you a name so that they can justify their actions, right? So if you're the angry black woman, that's the reason why they didn't respond to the email. If you're the aggressive person, they didn't give me enough time to respond. But then if you look at their emails, somebody else sent almost identical email and you responded immediately. So I'm going to say this, look how much respect they have for you. Because
the other side of that coin is, if you say it too nice, they say, well, you wasn't loud enough.
Right. So when you look at but it goes back to the respect.
You should have been louder. You should have been more vocal.
We need 30 more minutes.
No, but you look at so you think about this, because that is an elected seat. Let me say this again. That is an elected seat.
So talk about it.
Right. And again, when you look at how they tell us voting is not important, it is. We're the only community that is felt fed the poison that our votes don't matter, right? No, I'm just saying, like the black and brown.
It's across the board. That's why voting turnouts are so
But
low.
here's the thing. Why, if our vote as black people did not matter so much, why are they fighting so hard to keep us from voting? This Section 2, the birthright citizenship,
right?
That Trump versus Barbara, that case that they argued, which was the 14th Amendment, Dred Scott, as far as black people being, you get what I'm saying? Why are they fighting so hard against us if our voices, our votes did not change anything? And I'll say this real quick. There's something that I told you, Bart, the 3.5% rule. And that rule is if you get 3.5% of a population, they can change everything.
Wow.
And if there are only 50,000 people, 50,000 black people in St. Pete, let's say, I think they're fewer now, but that's only 1,750 people.
That can make the difference.
Make a difference.
And in that Project 2025, right? Isn't it that they want to make that you get one household vote, which would be the man? Somewhere in there. I read that. I might be
every individual in the household.
No. They want right.
Well, they do want it. They do want it white male centered, most definitely. And you about to. I don't even want to start talking about.
But that's somewhere in there because I
children and what's happening with SNAP and what the real. Okay.
So we gotta come back. We got like 2 minutes.
Maybe once a month you come in and check in.
Just give us a lay of the land.
In the election season, we do Thursday meetings at the barbershop around black voting, black men voting. Y'all come out because we have organized our voice. And we're going to stand up for ourselves.
Okay, one more thing. The Black Votters Matter bus tour is coming to St. Pete in May. And I've already partnered with Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. And they're going to be doing Know Your Rights campaigns here in St. Pete. And so once I get all of that information, then I'll definitely let you all know. We want everybody to come out. You know, all of our returning citizens, make sure you know your rights, get what you need so we can get out and vote.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, final thoughts.
Start with you.
There's a lot happening. Keep your eyes open, hands on the wheel.
Yes, this weekend, man. Y'all be prepared. We got a youth event happening at Urban Drinkery. Shout out to the Phoenix group. Back-to-back weekends, back-to-back events, man. It's going down. Y'all
it's the block prepared. Party. We got the block party.
Yep.
Free kites. I know Joanne Nesbitt will post. Kites? Yeah, like they're doing. Well, you go to the event.
Joanne Nesbitt actually is doing a home buyer class too. We'll post that and share.
Yeah, we got to do that.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
The city is on fire, right? Really so be the change you want to be or see. Write down those 5 things, and y'all know who up next to you.
Make you lose your shoes.
Shout out around the house.
This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John,
and this is Kiana.
I'm one and only Mr. Edmund.
And we out.
Bing, bing.